Okay, I'm going to take a look at your swing here. It's a little dark, but I think we can make enough out of it. This camera looks pretty still, so that should be good. I'm not sure what those lines are there, but they'll go away. Okay. Looks like you're hitting a fairly short club. I'm going to guess that's an 8 or a 7 or something. 8 or 7 iron maybe. Okay, so first thing we have is a little bit of low hands, and definitely too much posture around the back. So that's a restrict motion. Yeah. I mean, you might want to take a look at that. Yeah, you're bending from the waist more than you need to here, more than you should, because that's where the roundedness is coming from, and that's a real restrictor of motion, and you definitely don't need that posture. So I don't know how tall you are, it looks like you're pretty tall, but if you haven't considered longer equipment, then you might. That's a thought. Where we usually like to see a golf club is right up there through the belt buckle, or even just a little bit above it. And you can see that yours is pretty well below it, and that's causing some of this posture. So that's the first thing we have to do. Second thing is you want to get your chin off of your chest a little bit. That would help you a lot. All these things I'm pointing out tend to restrict golfers in their motion. You fight balance problems, it looks like, in your golf swing. So unless you establish a platform from where you can begin your swing, like any other sport, we're all trying to stay in balance. And you can see that you have a challenge with posture right off of the bat there. So look at that. Stand up taller, consider longer equipment. You may want to go a couple more degrees upright in your lie angle. That could allow you to stand up a little bit too. And you'll have to get comfortable eventually with getting your chin up off of your chest a little bit. Okay, so that's what I do at the beginning. Now let's take a look at the motion here. Okay, so we have a fairly flat swing. Here's how we measure that. You're set up here at the address, which actually, as I said, should be higher. We'll use this. Your actual shaft plane's about 50, and you want to set it up a little bit 5 degrees or so more up from that. His hitting a little bit longer club, but when you go back, your next position that you would want to check club-wise, oops, let me go over here, would be about halfway back. So when your left arm is somewhere around parallel to the ground, in this video, this camera's not capturing the speed of it all that much. Your next progression here would be about, you go from 49 to about 57, and then there. So where you want to check here is your hands we really don't have a halfway back position in this segment here. Let's see if we do on another one. Looks like you hit this ball from pretty much the same place. It's hard to say. You don't want to. The point I'm making here is you don't want to get your hands too deep, especially if you've got some height. Your leverage, the taller that you get, about halfway back here, you'd want about a mid-body position with your hands. That's what I call, and what most instructors refer to as a mid-body position, where his hands are in the middle of his body. Okay, yours get pretty behind you kind of early. So that may be something that we might consider for you. Now, you said you had an over-the-top swing at one time. You may want to send me to a close-up of your grip. I'm not sure I like that very much, that grip. It looks like you have the club in your palms of your hands too much, not enough in your fingers. So we'll take a look at that. But the club is going pretty deep here, so it's getting, your hands get behind you a little bit too far, and then you lift them. Now, where you want to do for your goal there to come down, let's take a look at one more thing here. Okay, maintaining your posture pretty good on your backswing. That's good. A little overactive with your knees, but with your girth, I think that's probably a good thing, necessity. A lot of the younger, lankier, real fit kids can get away with what we call quieter lower body, but I'm not sure that would be a good idea for you at all. Club face is square. I like that. It's just a low hands type of a swing, where you'll see, someone who's got some height will really kind of work it up there a little bit. You don't want to get it too far back. Now, as your goal as you're coming down is you want to get it on the. Let's take these lines out here one at a time. So the last line I just had up there representing your turn shoulder plane. This bottom line is what I call your shaft plane, and this middle line is what I call your hitting plane. So this is the plane that your arms were swinging on about halfway back. So what you want to do is come down on, bring them tired, on or under that line. And you're really not that far away from it. That's not bad as far as your hand path is concerned. If you had an over-the-top swing, you don't anymore at all. This club is coming, I don't have, on my flight scope machine, I'm been thinking it'd be a pretty good path. It looks like a pretty good path. It looks like you finish a little bit over on your toes. You might want to feel your weight a little bit more balanced on your heels. But the action here is not so bad when you're coming down. I'm going to check your release from the the face-on video. But I would think that, again, being a bigger guy, that if you can't get your arms up higher than that, then we're fine with that. I mean, because the swing in the arms and the club is on plane. There's no issue with your path there. So as you come down, try to keep. One of the reasons you're losing your balance is watch what happens to the rear end here. You see it coming off of that? Yeah, you don't want to get off of that. That means that you're lunging out toward the golf ball. And it's going to be necessary to really pull your hand line in to avoid a shank or a heel hit. So this gap here is something that you really don't want to get. You see when you see a world-class player, it's kind of like the butt really stays on that line. So that's where the loss of balance is coming from. You'd want to, could put a aim stick in the ground behind you and try to keep the butt against it. Would help you a lot, because I'm not sure what you might be getting is some heel hits here. Maybe you aren't, but that's kind of what this would get you if you didn't pull the hand line in. So my recommendations so far are to keep your posture up, consider longer equipment, get your chin off your chest, and try to stay in your posture. Try to keep your structure that you have right here, because the posture is pretty good. The arms are in a good place, hanging straight down from the shoulders. Just a little bit chin in the chest and too bent over, causing top heavy, which is causing you to lean in toward the golf ball. All right, so we'll take this one. Strong right hand for sure. Left hand looks pretty good, but again, they both look up in your palm a little bit. They don't look fingery enough. I'm not sure what ball flight you're fighting here. But you want to make sure that this video, if the camera is nice and still, should tell us a little bit more about your action from the face-on view. That's not bad. That's pretty good. Your head goes behind it a little bit, but your hips stay in the box there. That's pretty good. Ball's in a pretty good position. If this camera is at 90 degrees, that's the other thing too. We get parallax issues with videoing, if you know what I mean. By parallax, it's you have to be 90 degrees off the target line, and you have to be directly down the line on the camera. If you think of it this way: if I'm driving the car and I'm going 60 miles an hour, and you're sitting in the passenger seat, you may be looking at the odometer and saying you're going 70 or you're going 50, because of the looking in a sconce like that at it. And so the camera is really important to get square to the 90 degrees there. So, but if it's 90 degrees, your head's a little bit behind the ball, and your hips are in the box, so that's good. And again, the speed of the camera is an issue, because I can't see the shaft here at all. But I mean, the golf swing is really, really not bad at all. There's not a lot of stuff that I would change action-wise here for sure. You're keeping your head behind the ball. You check like this, and you get a little bit behind it there. Man, it looks like you're releasing it fairly early here, and two, I can't tell where this face is at this point. It looks like it might be open, but when you get that much blur in it because of the lack of camera speed, you've got to have about 60 frames a second to get any distortion of the shaft or the club head out of there. And when you come around here, you're moving this knee in, you're kicking the right knee in, you're keeping your head behind it. That's a fine move there. No, I don't see Todd. A golf swing I see a golf swing that's pretty functional right here, to be honest. The couple things that I mentioned were to get you into a better starting position. I just wouldn't lean over that far. Keep your weight, feeling in here. Don't let it get too far over there. Work on your grip. Keep it in your fingers. Transition isn't even that bad. You really got the shaft in a pretty good position right there. Arm swinging, your left arm is swinging vertically. That's good. It's not going out. Like I said, your body humps out a little bit. The body extends just a little bit early, too soon. So what I'd work on, as I see this, is your posture, your grip, and your balance. When you start your downswing, you want to put this aim stick that you have laying on the ground here, just put it in the ground behind you. Try to make some swings with your butt still touching the aim stick. That'll get rid of that loss of balance that you have over to there. But if you hadn't known the top swing before, obviously you worked yourself out of it, because it's clearly not that right now. I mean, you'd need TrackMan or Flight Scope to find that out for sure, but my eye tells me it's not, and my eye's pretty trained on these things. So there you have it. Good luck, and let me know how you do.